I was going to pass this around, and then when it gets passed to you, if you want to say anything you want about Mom, fine. And if it starts to pour rain, we'll pass this around empty at the chicken place, and I guess you'll have, in between bites of chickens, you'll have to say something nice about Mom. So it's up to you. But let's just hope that it doesn't pour down rain. So let's try to get in more of a circle here. And Helen's going to speak second after me. She's going to have a convocation. Come on, let's spread it out. Because I'm going to pass this around, and you just pass it like a conch shell, and when it's in your possession, you can talk. And if you don't, just pass it. And if you want to say something, say it, and say whatever you want. So I'm going to, well, first, Mom died 2 years from her 89th birthday on March 4th. She was born on 1922, March 6th. She probably wouldn't want me to tell you that.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say that.
I know, but the only thing I promised her was to spread her ashes on Mac's grave.
The stone ain't moving, so you're okay.
So, anyway, I don't feel bad. She lived to be 89. She had a really good life. She died a natural death. She was very peaceful. I was there with her when she died. She went very well. She didn't have any complications like pneumonia or anything. She just her body just shut down, and it was starting to shut down about 6 months before. And Joe and Susie had come to see her brother and her niece, and we were around just Christmas time, and she was kind of hard to wake up. One time we just stuck her. She was in a wheelchair. We stuck her outside in the snow just to see if it would wake her up a little. She was hard to wake up, but that's because the body was shutting down. So anyway, I went and grabbed a bunch of Christmas cards because she was always lamenting that she never got her Christmas cards out on time. So we got her. I had her address book and Christmas cards, and she dictated that last Christmas. That would have been the Christmas of 2010, last Christmas. So she dictated most of the messages. Susie wrote it down. I addressed it, and we got them all out. She felt really happy. But that was probably the last time she was really articulate. And then they went back to Indianapolis, and she went in and out of the hospital a few times, and ended up in a full-scale nursing home. Actually was already in the nursing home. I'm sorry. So she lived 6 years in a retirement center. To fill you in a little bit, she lived 6 years in the retirement home with her 2 cats. One of them died. Don't just ignore that. That's they're bowling the little dwarfs.
Yes.
The Hudson Bay dwarfs. Anyway, so she lived there for 3 years with her cats, and she got around, and we went places. I took her to Disneyland in 2005 in the wheelchair. We just flew down with a wheelchair. Just one like that, and I took her around. We traveled on the city bus. I pushed her everywhere. I was like a mule, but I really liked the exercise, so I was pushing her 10 miles a day, and she only weighed like 110 pounds, so it was a lot of fun. We went through 4 days of Disneyland. She really enjoyed that, and I don't know if you noticed that last email I sent. Wasn't there a picture of her with a big dog? That was her favorite photo. That was Pluto. And she really liked that. She said that was one of her favorite photos. That's why I attached it on there. So we had a really good time. We stayed like a week in Anaheim. If the rain gets to the point where it bothers people, then let's just. I see some sunshine.
We got a rainbow
Back there.
Oh, okay, well that's a good sign. So anyway, she was very happy there in the retirement home. She had friends, and she got meals, and she got maid service, and she had a wheelchair, and I took her out places. I still had her car. So about April, I think it was 2009, I went away to New Orleans for a couple of weeks. When I came back, she'd had a fairly good stroke, and she just wasn't getting out of bed and stuff. And I tried putting her on assisted living, and that didn't take. So I had to put her in. Put her into the hospital, and they rehydrated her. She had to go into a nursing home. So she ended up spending the last year in a nursing home. But she was well loved there. She had a good sense of humor. People would say, "How old are you?" She'd say, "Old. I'm old enough." They really liked her. They treated her really well. It was run by Lutherans, and it was only about 1.5 miles from my house. So I just walked over to see her. I saw her a couple times a week. two of my exes would stop in and visit her, you know, and read books to her and stuff. And so she had a good time there. And then she went into the hospital and came back. And then at that point, she was on hospice. So she just slowly withered away after Christmas. And died in March. Like I said, it was very painful. She died. I had no problem. Back to Ohio when she was gone and spread her ashes on Mac's grave and her parents. So I'm doing that. So I loved her deeply, and I know you all thought, you know, you knew her and you worked with her. This is Alta. She worked with her at Penny's. She was really good with people. She never had a harsh word. She never said anything mean about anybody behind their back or to them, or she was just really a people person. You know, she had a good life, and she enjoyed working at Penny's for 20 years. And she died a happy woman, really. Oh, it is. Well, we could get under the tree.
Let's get under the lightning strikes. That's a nice place to be.
You think, with all this metal around? Well, if there's any light.
Don't worry about lingering.
Grass. Oh, my sister's buddy. I kept my promise. Jerry's going to chronicle that. Spread your ashes on Harold's grave. And then from here, we're going to go over to her parents' grave, my grandparents.